What is up, bros and broettes? I am Inkslasher, and welcome to another episode of Versus. If you don't know what this series is, it's a series where we take two weapons, or sometimes other things, put them head to head to make you a better Call of Duty player. And today we're looking at two SMGs that I've been requested to look at many times before, and that is the HLX4, which is a DLC / supply drop weapon, versus the Vesper, the weapon that's been nerfed and buffed and nerfed and buffed, and we're going to look at these two weapons today and decide which one is better. But as always, if you guys enjoy the Versus series and want to see more, the best way to show me is by hitting that like button. But without further ado, let's start off by looking at the damage of these two weapons. So as far as the Vesper goes, the damage is 30 up close, 22 at mid-range, and 19 at long range, whereas the HLX is 30 up close, 23 at mid-range, and 19 at long range. Now, you'd think that I would give this win to the HLX, however, really both damage profiles are the exact same. Both weapons are going to be a 4-bullet kill up close, a 5-bullet kill at mid-range, and a 6-bullet kill at long range. Even though there's that one damage difference between the two at mid-range, neither of these weapons are any better damage-wise. So even though the damage profile for both of these weapons is exactly the same, the HLX has a much better range than the Vesper does. For example, the Vesper's 4-bullet kill range goes up to 7.5 meters, whereas the HLX's 4-bullet kill range goes up to 17.5 meters, so an extra 10 meters on that 4-bullet kill range. And because of this, you're going to have basically one less bullet to kill at almost every single range because of the extended range on the HLX over the Vesper. So for that, the HLX gets plus 1 point and takes the lead. Now, where the Vesper actually makes up for this is with the fire rate. So the fire rate on the Vesper is 1200. Now, this is the fastest fire rate in the entire game. The Vesper has the fastest fire rate. That being said, though, the HLX really isn't that far behind. The HLX's fire rate is 1000 RPM, so there is a 200 fire rate difference between the two, which is obviously a very good thing for the Vesper, so for that it's going to get plus 1 point. But that being said, the HLX by no means has a bad fire rate. So I've actually heard a lot of rumors going around that the HLX actually has a better time to kill than the Vesper, and this is 100% not true. So up close, the time to kill for the HLX is 0.18 seconds, whereas the time to kill for the Vesper is 0.15 seconds. So obviously that's a little bit faster for the Vesper. However, because of the extended range, and at most of the time you're going to get in a gunfight, the HLX is going to be one less bullet. At mid-range, the HLX normally will have a better time to kill. However, once you hit that 6-bullet kill range, the Vesper once again has the faster time to kill because of that faster fire rate. So as far as time to kill goes, I'm not going to give out any points because the Vesper is better at short and long range, whereas the HLX has a better time to kill at mid-range. So it's completely dependent on where you get into your gunfights with these two weapons. So even though I'm not giving out any points for time to kill, there is one thing I can definitely give out points for, and that's that there is a little hidden stat for the HLX, and that's that if you're firing the weapon and then stop firing and then try to start firing again, there is a little bit of a delay between the two. And this is something that I only ever notice is if I'm getting into one gunfight after another, because if you just stop shooting and give it some time, that delay does not take place. However, it is a big pain if you're getting into gunfight after gunfight after gunfight, and the Vesper simply does not have this stat. So because of that, the Vesper is going to get plus 1 point. By the way, the good way to avoid this is just if you see more than one person, simply do not stop shooting with the HLX, unless of course you run out of bullets. Next up, we've got magazine size, and the magazine size for the HLX is 36 rounds, whereas the magazine size for the Vesper is 30 rounds. Now, this doesn't seem like a big difference, but it really is. Reason being, with the Vesper, you have a faster fire rate, which means you're going to run through a magazine a little bit faster. And since the HLX already has a larger magazine, it will take even longer to go through the HLX's magazine than the Vesper's magazine. So therefore, it's a big positive for the HLX to have a larger magazine, and for that, it's going to get plus 1 point. However, even though the Vesper has a smaller magazine size, it makes up for it in the reload speed. So the reload speed for the HLX is 2.3 seconds with bullets still in the magazine and 2.9 seconds with an empty magazine, whereas the Vesper's reload speed is 2 seconds with bullets still in the magazine and 2.5 seconds with an empty magazine. Now, I do have to mention that both of these weapons are kind of on the slower side for the SMGs. The HLX is the second slowest out of all the SMGs, so therefore it's a little bit better for the Vesper, and the Vesper is going to get plus 1 point. As far as the smaller stats go, like the sprint out time, the aim down sights time, and the weapon switch time, all of these are the exact same for both of these weapons, so you don't have to worry about that. However, the hip spread is a little bit weird for both of these weapons. As far as the HLX goes, it is 3 inches at a minimum and 5 at a maximum, whereas the Vesper is 2.5 inches at a minimum and 5.5 inches at a maximum. So the minimum hip spread is better for the Vesper, but the maximum hip spread is better for the HLX. So it's kind of like pick your poison as far as that goes. But since both of them are off by 0.5 inches, I'm not going to give out any points for either of those weapons. However, something that I definitely do have to talk about with these two weapons is the recoil. So if you followed all of Black Ops 3, all the buffs and nerfs of weapons, the one thing that is consistently changing on the Vesper is the recoil. And this is something that they first of all really nerfed, and then buffed a little bit, and then nerfed again, and finally we have the amount of recoil we have today. And I would say the Vesper is probably the weapon in Black Ops 3 with the most recoil. Whereas compared to the HLX, it does have a lot of recoil because of its faster fire rate, but in my opinion, it's nothing compared to the Vesper. Now, if you follow the Versus series, you guys know that generally speaking, I don't give out any points for recoil, simply because most of the time, recoil patterns and what people like simply comes down to personal opinion. However, the Vesper has much more recoil than the HLX, and for that, I have to give the HLX plus 1 more point, and as you can see, we've reached a tie. So, which one is the winner? Well, here's what I'm going to say. Both of these weapons have an extremely fast time to kill because of their extremely fast fire rates. And up close, if you're getting into a gunfight pretty much within 10 meters, the Vesper is the winner. Hands down. However, as we know, even with SMGs, most of the time, our gunfights are not going to be within those 10 meters. And anything after that, the HLX is going to be the better weapon. So here's what I'm going to say. If it was up to me, I personally believe that the HLX is the winner, and the reason why I say that is just simply more consistency. You have more range, which means most of the time it's going to take less bullets to kill. Less bullets to kill means you can be less accurate, because if you miss a bullet, it's not quite as big of a deal. Now, on top of that, with the HLX, you're also going to have a faster time to kill at pretty much all of the mid-ranges. And as far as me using an SMG, that is where I get into most of my gunfights, between 10 and 30 meters. And that's where the HLX really reigns supreme, whereas the Vesper really reigns supreme under 10 meters. So that's why I prefer the HLX. That being said, these weapons are both very balanced with each other, and it does pretty much come down to personal opinion. So feel free to let me know which one of these two weapons you prefer down in the comment section below, and let me know why. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell notification if you want to be notified whenever I upload videos. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.